Hey kids, it's Flexing Teacher Weber here. Hope you've had a good spring break. I had a pretty good spring break. Things are going okay. We're going to start a new unit in math on solving equations. I've given you some notes that have some examples in them, but I'm going to walk through a few of the examples with you just to give you the idea if the notes aren't good enough for you. Make sure you're reading the instructions and stuff in the notes as well. I'm going to flip over to my whiteboard. These are some of the questions from the notes. This is actually a Zuzu pet track that my daughter and I made, but we'll focus on some of the questions from the notes. So the idea with solving equations is that you want to get the variable x by itself on one side of the equal sign. Now, a lot of these guys you're going to be able to do with mental math, but we're going to start the same process so that when we get to the harder ones, you'll know the process. And the process is isolating the variable or getting the variable by itself. So what you do is you want to find the variable, in this case it's x, and you want to do the opposite of whatever's beside x. So beside x is positive 7. So what you want to do is subtract 7. And then that's going to make the x by itself because 7 minus 7 is 0. Now if you do that on one side of the equal sign, you have to do it on the other side. So I subtract 7 on the other side of the equal sign. And then you keep working down the page and you show what's left. On this side of the equal sign, the 7 minus 7 goes away and we're just left with x. On the other side of the equal sign, positive 1 and negative 7 make negative 6. And you're done. And you can mentally check that as well. If you were to mentally substitute in negative 6 for x, negative 6 plus 7 does equal positive 1, so that's correct. I like to try to keep my videos fairly short here, so I'm just going to do one more with you, and maybe I'll post another video after that. So if you look at number 2, you have 8 plus y equals 4. So if I look at the variable y, and look at the number beside it is positive 8, so I want to get the variable by itself. So I look at the number beside the y, it's positive 8, and to make that positive 8 go away, I do minus 8. And I have to do the same thing to both sides of the equal sign to keep everything balanced. So I do minus 8 on the other side of the equal sign. Now let's work down the page and see what's left. On this side of the equal sign, 8 minus 8 is 0, so I'm left with a plus y, which I can just call y. And on the other side of the equal sign, 4 and negative 8 make negative 4. If I was to mentally substitute in negative 4 for y, this equation would work out. 8 plus negative 4 does equal 4. That's the basics for solving one-step equations. So make sure you look at some of the other notes. Make sure you read over all the instructions, and we'll start doing some solving equations. And also make sure you give a big flex. Hope everyone's doing okay, and we'll talk soon.